Chronopolis, a beacon of technological advancement. Its towering skyscrapers scraped the sky, casting long shadows upon the bustling streets below. Flying vehicles zipped through designated air corridors, their sleek forms a testament to human ingenuity. But beneath this veneer of progress, a silent war raged. A battle fought not with conventional weapons, but with the very fabric of time itself. The citizens of Chronopolis remained oblivious to the temporal distortions that rippled around them. They were unaware of the brave few who fought tirelessly to maintain the delicate balance of history. They had no knowledge of the Time Hackers, a shadowy organization determined to bend time to their will. And they certainly didn't know about Eli Morrow, the woman who was about to stumble headfirst into this hidden war. Eli Morrow, a brilliant but somewhat reclusive cryptographer, spent her days deciphering complex algorithms. Her current project, an analysis of Chronopolis's blockchain records, had turned up some intriguing anomalies. These weren't the typical errors or inconsistencies one might expect. These were deliberate alterations, subtly woven into the very fabric of the city's digital infrastructure. At first, Eli dismissed them as glitches, but as she delved deeper, a chilling realization dawned upon her. Someone was manipulating time, leaving behind subtle digital footprints as they did so. The implications were staggering. If someone could alter the past, they could control the present and dictate the future. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and a growing sense of unease, Eli resolved to uncover the truth. Eli's investigation led her to a hidden message embedded within the blockchain anomalies, a set of coordinates leading to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Chronopolis. The message was cryptic, yet precise, and Eli knew she had to follow it. The coordinates pointed to a location that seemed forgotten by time itself, a place where the past and future might intersect in ways she couldn't yet comprehend. Cautiously, she followed the trail, her heart pounding with a mixture of apprehension and anticipation. The path was overgrown, as if nature itself was trying to hide the secrets that lay ahead. Each step she took was filled with a sense of purpose, yet the unknown dangers that might lurk in the shadows kept her on edge. The warehouse loomed in the distance, a silent sentinel guarding its mysteries. Inside the dilapidated building, she found a lone figure seated at a steel table, bathed in the dim glow of a flickering holographic projector. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay, yet the presence of the figure gave the space an eerie sense of life. The projector cast ghostly images on the walls, hinting at the advanced technology that lay hidden beneath the warehouse's decrepit exterior. "You've found us, Miss Morrow," the figure said, his voice deep and resonant. It was a voice that commanded attention, one that seemed to echo through the very fabric of time. Eli felt a shiver run down her spine as she realized the gravity of the situation. This was no ordinary meeting, it was a convergence of destinies. "My name is Darius Kane and I represent the Temporal Accord. We've been expecting you." His words were both a revelation and a challenge. The Temporal Accord, a name that carried weight and mystery, was now a part of her reality. Eli's mind raced with questions, but she knew that answers would come in due time. Darius explained that the Temporal Accord was a secret organization tasked with protecting the timeline from those who would seek to manipulate it. Their mission was to ensure that history remained unaltered, preserving the natural flow of events. The stakes were high, and the consequences of failure were unimaginable. Eli listened intently, absorbing every word. He revealed the existence of the Time Hackers and their insidious plan to rewrite history for their own gain. These rogue elements sought to bend the timeline to their will, creating a future that served their interests at the expense of countless lives. The Temporal Accord stood as the last line of defense against such malevolent forces. He told Eli that her unique skills as a cryptographer made her the perfect candidate to join their ranks. Her ability to decipher complex codes and uncover hidden truths was exactly what the Temporal Accord needed. Eli felt a sense of purpose wash over her. She had been searching for meaning, and now she had found it. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but she was ready to face it head-on. Darius led Eli deep into the warehouse to a hidden vault beneath the floorboards. Inside, resting on a velvet cushion, lay a device unlike anything Eli had ever seen. It was a metallic sphere about the size of a baseball, covered in intricate engravings. It pulsed with an otherworldly energy that sent shivers down Eli's spine. This, Darius explained, was the chrono key. The chrono key is a temporal anchor, Darius explained, his voice hushed with reverence. It allows us to pinpoint and travel to specific moments in time. He explained that the time hackers were also searching for the chrono key, hoping to use its power to achieve their own nefarious goals. The temporal accord had managed to keep it hidden for centuries, but the recent surge in temporal anomalies suggested that the time hackers were closing in. Eli's recruitment into the temporal accord was swift and absolute. She immediately immersed herself in rigorous training, learning to operate the chrono key and honing her combat skills. She studied historical records, memorizing dates, events, and key figures. She trained alongside seasoned temporal agents, learning to fight with both conventional weapons and experimental temporal gadgets. The training was intense, pushing Eli to her physical and mental limits, but she persevered, driven by a growing sense of purpose. She knew that the fate of history rested on her shoulders. She would not let them down. She would become the agent the temporal accord needed her to be. Section 6, the Treaty of Eridani IV. Eli's first mission was as daunting as it was critical, to prevent the time hackers from sabotaging the signing of the Treaty of Eridani IV. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The treaty was not just a piece of paper, it was a beacon of hope for countless civilizations across the galaxy. This treaty, signed in 2342, had brought an end to a century of interstellar war. The conflict had ravaged planets, decimated populations, and drained resources. The signing of the treaty marked a new era of peace and cooperation. Its collapse would plunge the galaxy back into chaos. The fragile peace that had been so painstakingly built would shatter, leading to renewed hostilities and untold suffering. The time hackers aimed to exploit this vulnerability for their own gain. Armed with the chrono key and a backpack full of temporal gadgets, Eli traveled back to 2342. Each gadget was meticulously designed to manipulate time in subtle ways, giving Eli an edge in her mission. Materializing in the opulent halls of the Eridani embassy just hours before the treaty signing, she took a moment to absorb her surroundings. The grandeur of the embassy was a stark contrast to the tension that filled the air. The atmosphere was tense, the air thick with anticipation and mistrust. Delegates whispered among themselves, their faces etched with worry. The weight of the moment was palpable. Delegates from dozens of planets mingled nervously, while armed guards patrolled the perimeter. The security was tight, but Eli knew that the time hackers were cunning and resourceful. Eli blended into the crowd, her senses alert for any sign of the time hackers. She scanned the room, looking for anything out of the ordinary. Every face, every movement was scrutinized. She knew they would be here, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The fate of the galaxy rested on her shoulders, and failure was not an option. Eli steeled herself for the challenge ahead, ready to do whatever it took to protect the future. Section 7, Kronos and the Master Plan. Eli spotted them just as they made their move. A group of 4, their faces obscured by holographic masks, moved with lethal precision toward the treaty room. The air was thick with tension, every step they took echoing the gravity of their mission. Eli's heart raced as she realized the magnitude of the threat they posed. These were no ordinary intruders, they were time hackers, notorious for their ability to manipulate temporal events to their advantage. Eli sprang into action, her movements honed by countless hours of training. She engaged the time hackers in a fierce but silent battle, her temporal gadgets proving surprisingly effective against their advanced weaponry. Each strike was calculated, each move a testament to her skill and determination. The clash of metal and the hum of energy weapons filled the air, creating a symphony of combat that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. Eli's mind raced, strategizing her next move while fending off the relentless attacks. As the battle raged, Eli managed to tear the mask from one of the time hackers, revealing the face of a man. The moment was surreal, as if time itself had slowed down to witness the unmasking. The man's face was etched with determination, his eyes burning with a cold intensity that sent shivers down Eli's spine. She knew this was no ordinary adversary. This was someone with a deep connection to the temporal conflicts that had plagued their world. His eyes, cold and calculating, held a chilling familiarity. It was as if she had seen those eyes before, in the darkest corners of her nightmares. The recognition was instant, a jolt of realization that left her momentarily stunned. She had read about him, studied his tactics, and now he was here, standing before her, a living embodiment of the chaos she had sworn to prevent. "You!" Eli gasped, recognizing him from a temporal accord database. The name echoed in her mind, a name that had become synonymous with temporal terrorism and disruption. Kronos, the leader of the time hackers, the mastermind behind countless temporal anomalies and attacks. Her voice trembled as she spoke, the weight of the revelation pressing down on her. "You're Kronos, the leader of the time hackers." The words hung in the air, a declaration of recognition and accusation. Kronos's expression remained unchanged, his cold eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that was both unnerving and captivating. He seemed almost amused by her realization, as if he had been waiting for this moment. Kronos chuckled, a dry, humorless sound. It was a laugh devoid of joy, a sound that resonated with the emptiness of his soul. The chuckle was a stark contrast to the gravity of the situation, a reminder of the twisted mind behind the mask. Eli's resolve hardened, knowing that she was facing an enemy who thrived on chaos and destruction. "Your diligence is admirable, Miss Morrow," he said, "but ultimately futile." His voice was calm, almost patronizing, as if he were speaking to a child who had yet to understand the complexities of the world. The words stung, but they also fueled Eli's determination. She knew that she couldn't let his words shake her resolve. She had to stand firm, for the sake of the future. "We will reshape history in our image, and there's nothing you can do to stop us." The declaration was bold, filled with a conviction that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Kronos' vision of the future was one of control and domination, a future where the time hackers reigned supreme. Eli knew that the battle was far from over, and that the fate of the timeline rested on her shoulders. Section 8. The Ultimate Sacrifice. Eli fought bravely, but she was outnumbered and outmatched. Kronos and his time hackers escaped with the Treaty of Eridani IV, their insidious plan nearing fruition. As Eli lay there, bruised and defeated, she realized the devastating truth. Kronos and his followers weren't just trying to alter specific events, they were aiming for something far grander and far more terrifying. They were attempting to seize control of the Chrono Key itself. If they succeeded, they would have the power to rewrite history on a scale never before imagined. They could reshape the world, indeed the entire universe, in their own image. Eli knew she had to stop them, no matter the cost. She stumbled to her feet, her resolve hardening. There was one desperate, unthinkable option left. Section 9. A Legacy Etched in Time. Eli used the Chrono Key one last time, not to travel through time, but to erase herself from existence. By removing herself from the timeline, she created a temporal paradox, a ripple effect that would cascade through history, undoing the time hackers' manipulations and ensuring the stability of the continuum. Her sacrifice was absolute, her memory wiped clean from the annals of history. Yet in the end, it was her sacrifice that saved time itself. The Treaty of Eridani IV held, the galaxy remained at peace, and the time hackers were defeated, their master plan thwarted before it could fully unfold. And though the world would never know her name, Eli Morrow's legacy lived on, a silent guardian, a ghost in the machinery of time, ensuring that the past, present, and future remained forever secure.